Hi, hello, good morning. We spoke about the issue of termination of contract in the last video that I made, and I said that we were looking at the consequences for termination of a contract. What it means is that for every action taken, there is always a reaction. So, simply by the provisions of the regulations of the statutes and transfer of players of FIFA 2022, there are provisions for which where a contract is terminated with just cause or without just cause and the consequences thereof. Now, let us look at Article 16 of that regulation. It says that you cannot unilaterally terminate a contract without a just cause. Now, I'll go into the consequences of termination without a just cause. Now, one of the consequences for termination of a contract without a just cause is the payment of compensation. Now, it is very clear and simple. Compensation should be paid where the contract is terminated without a just cause to the player, and also most times it can even be to the club. So, payment of compensation is not a one way traffic, it boils down to both ways, so long as they are contracting parties. Then, number two, in respect of that, also, sanctions can be imposed. For instance, you see that some players get as much as 4 to 6 months as provided by the regulations uh, and the restriction from matches. These are all sanctions that can be imposed as provided by the regulations of the statutes and transfer of players law 2022 of FIFA. Now, in the case of another termination of contract, especially against a club, disciplinary measures are usually taken against such clubs. Disciplinary action can be taken against the club for failure to comply, and also most times where a player gives the notice of 15 days, there is refusal by the club to comply. Now the player can also be sanctioned too for inducing breach or even using a third party. A third party can be sanctioned. Most times when you look at it, people tend not to believe that a third party can be sanctioned. But that third party can be sanctioned on the fact that if that third party is subject to FIFA's rules and regulations. So it can be sanctioned with respect to that. Now we'll move now to the issue of special clauses that are supposed to be in a contract. Now, when you look at it, when you see that these clauses are not in a contract, you know that that contract uh, fully on ground. Now, one of the special clauses that must be in the contract for you before you can sign a contract is the fact that that contract must have a beginning and it must have an end, like I've always stated from the from inception. Now, it is usually the fact that FIFA provides that a contract must not be more than a season. Now, the season is calculated thus: the effective date, and the end of the season. Then, two, a contract should not be more than 5 years as provided by FIFA's regulations. And also, an underage may sign a contract which is not more than 3 years. Now, the word may, that is to say that it depends on the interpretation given to it. It says may, that is to say, in some countries, an underage cannot sign a contract because that underage is not suitable. So, but there are other ways legal practitioners can go about this if they give you advice as regard that. We usually call most times your next friend can sign your contract, your parents, so long as you have not attained the age of majority, the age of 18 years, so that player can be taken care of. by that. Now, a club intending to conclude a professional contract must inform the player's current club. These are the things that must be in the contract. That there must be the special clauses in the contract. They must inform the current club of that player before entering into negotiation. Most times people don't do that. They enter into negotiation with players, which is a breach of this regulation. However, a player can conclude a contract negotiation with another club. That is to say, if his contract has expired with the present club. Even if it has not expired, he has about 6 months to go. So that player is protected by the law to go into negotiation. Now, the validity of a contract cannot be made subject to a successful medical examination. What it means is this: every contract must have its validity. Now, it cannot be read that the contract is valid